Born in 1958 in Los Angeles and raised in La Mesa, California, with 4 brothers and sisters, Ellen Ochoa is an apt pupil who delights her parents, who are very concerned by education. Her father, born in a Mexican family, was bullied by the other kids at school and discriminated by society. Here is an anecdote. When he was young, the Hispanics could go in public pools only on the day before the cleaning of the basins. And this kind of things happened only a century ago. As he wants his kids to be integrated, Mr. Ochoa asks them not to speak Spanish and he encourages them to be good at school. Mrs. Ochoa, on the other hand, takes college courses one by one at night schools, and it takes her 22 years to get a college degree. Ellen doesn't disappoint her parents. She graduates from Grossmont High School in 1975, she gets a bachelor degree in science at the San Diego University in 1980, then a master's degree the next year, and she obtains a PhD in electrical engineering at Stanford in 1985. Ellen also learns to play the classical flute and joins the Stanford Symphonic Orchestra, where she is awarded with the Student Soloist Award. Here is an anecdote. When she went to the San Diego University, Ellen hesitated between studying journalism, music, or physics. Her mother told her to choose sciences, and the young girl agreed. Another anecdote. When she has to pick up a subject for her PhD, Ellen met 2 professors. The physics lecturer told her that this specialty will give her a job, and the engineer lecturer said to her that engineering studies were not for girls because they were too complicated for them. Ellen, who was okay to listen to her mother but not to the stupid advice of an old school professor, followed her heart and chose engineering. And she succeeded. Her PhD in Stanford leads her on the way of the magical world of computer science and optics, and in 1985 she applies for her first patent with Joseph Goodman and Lambertus Esselink for a system for enhancement of optical features. Working for the Sandia Laboratory and later for the NASA Ames Research Center, Ellen gets 2 other patents with her colleagues again, one for an optical ranked order filtering and the other for a recognizing method combining an optical cell and a computer software. What's the use of that? For example, it can detect problems that can't be seen by a man on manufactured objects on the production line. So we can say that Ellen Ochoa is the inventor of optical systems. And I won't talk about them too much, I'm not good in physics. Let's talk about space exploration. I can spot the Big Dipper. When Neil Armstrong walks on the moon in 1969, or when he's filmed in the Studio 237 by Stanley Kubrick, Take Your Side, Ellen is a teenager who's not into what is, at that time, a guy thing. Hey, rockets, space travels, and conquest of other planets are not for chicks, right? Time goes by and, in 1983, Sally Ride becomes the first female astronaut. Ellen, who develops optical systems for the NASA, starts to think about traveling to space too. So in 1985, she applies for the space training program, but she's not selected. She tries again in 1987, but it still doesn't work. Staying positive, Ochoa gets a pilot license to enrich her application. And in 1990, her third attempt is a good one. She joins the NASA training program and, a year later, she is an astronaut. Ellen Ochoa will go 4 times in space. In 1993, she is in charge of the robotic arm during a discovery mission which studies the ozone layer and the effects of the sun. In 1994, she works on solar energy during an Atlantis mission. In 1999, she takes supplies to the International Space Station. And in 2002, she goes back to the ISS to manipulate a robotic arm again. Ellen spends about 1,000 hours in space, and her last flight is not the end of her career, quite the contrary. In 2008, she leads a mission control, and since 2013, she is the director of the Johnson Space Center in Houston. She is the second woman at that position and the first Hispanic. With such a career, you may think that Ochoa sacrificed her private life. You're so wrong. Married with Coe Fulmer Miles, a computer engineer that she met in 1990 at the NASA Research Center, Ellen takes time to look after her 2 kids and also for herself. She has 3 passions: music, sport, and flying. Member of the Optical Society of America and of the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, Ochoa got many awards, professional but also honorary. Listening to her heart and not to other people's opinion, Ellen Ochoa's life illustrates perfectly this Oscar Wilde's quote: "Shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars." So, as Ellen, believe in your dreams and listen to your mother.